Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler Virtual Book Club, the Let's Talk to Cutler YouTube channel, the Let's Talk to Cutler. Let's spend these 1,800 seconds together. The Let's Talk to Cutler. Come on in and take a seat, and let's just talk about things that maybe we will find inspirational, motivational, or maybe even that will challenge us to show up our best selves in the worst of situations. I think that's what this evening's broadcast may yield, a conversation where we challenge ourselves to show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. I think this evening's conversation is going to challenge us to some degree to take a look within and to see why we do what we do. We're going to talk about just stop trying to be perfect. Just stop trying to be perfect. And I will tell you all where this comes from. It's going to be a very transparent moment again with Cutler, as I hope all of my moments with you all are transparent. But this is really, it's going to come from a confession. I have a confession, all right? I have a confession. So if you haven't heard me give any confessions or make any confessions, going to tell somebody, come on, let's talk to Cutler. He has a confession that he needs to make, that he needs to get off of his chest, that he just needs to get out there so he can move on with his life and just keep living. I have a confession for you all this evening. All right. I really, really, really do. I'm going to shout out the LTTC VIPs in just a moment. But after I do that, we'll dive right into the broadcast. But I do want to, again, remind people who are stopping by for the very first time, if this is your first time and you wonder what am I talking about, we take 1,800 seconds every Tuesday we collectively to have a conversation and discussion. And it is within this conversation where I try to inspire, I try to motivate, I try to challenge us, because I want us to be better. I want us to be better. I want myself to be better. And as I am on a perpetual, dynamic, ever evolving journey for better, I invite you all to come along that journey with me. Does it mean that we think we're better than anybody else? Absolutely not. What it means is that we can always be better than we were. I live every single day to become better tomorrow than I was yesterday. And that is stated not out of arrogance, not out of conceit, not of anything of that sort, but it is about evolution. It is about actualization. It is about striving to be all that I can be while I am here. I was doing a Let's Walk with Cutler because I wanted to remind people, make sure that you're committed to your health. Make sure that you're committed or recommitted to your health. Make sure that you're recommitted to a better life. Make sure that you're committed to being the best that you can be. That's all I want for any of us. I want to encourage us to be the best version of ourselves all the time. So I want to talk this afternoon about just stop trying to be perfect. And again, I'll tell you where that comes from, but I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs. I want to invite those of you who are on to just come on over into the chat. I see that you're on, but you haven't made it over to the chat yet. Come on into the chat room so I can see you and know that you're here with me. And you can say hi to your friends who are in the chat as well. All right. But let me dive into the conversation for now, and I'll come back and shout out the LTTC VIPs. I hope that you all had an amazing Thanksgiving holiday. I really, really do. Mine was wonderful. I got a chance to spend it with my mother, and all of her sons were there. The three of us were there, and it was just a wonderful time. We are one of the relatives who was visiting said, I love us, but I love us better when we are together. And I thought that was the sentiments of everybody who was there. So I hope that you all had a great Thanksgiving. Let me go ahead and shout out the LTTC VIPs before I forget and just keep moving. And they are the first three people that I see come into the chat from my end, you all. So if you haven't done so, then just make sure that you strive to get on first. All right. But before I call them, let me just invite you all to subscribe. And after you subscribe, do me one more favor, if you would. Go ahead and click the notification bell wherever it is on your device. I'm not sure whether it's down there, up there, over there, over there, wherever it is. Do me a favor and click on it, because it lets you know whenever I've gone live or when I have uploaded new content. But for now, the LTTC VIPs are Annie Cutler, who says, let's ride, Paula D, who says, hello, everyone, and Marissa, who says, good evening, all. Those are the first three people that I see on my end who came into the chat. So don't fuss with me. Don't fight with me. If I missed you and you from your end, it looks like you got there first, just shoot me a text message or an email or something, because my email shows up. But you all, this is December. We are here at December the 2nd. And so here comes the confessions. Here comes the confessions. Oh my goodness, Cutler, do you really want to do this? Do you really want to make this confession here on this broadcast? I do, and I will. So it's December 2nd, and I need to make this confession, and you all don't judge me. Please don't judge me. I've enjoyed this platform with us for quite a while. So, and I've tried to be as transparent as I can. So let me take these glasses off. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I'm just going to make this confession. It's December 2nd, right? And every year I go out and buy greeting cards. I buy Thanksgiving cards, and I buy Christmas cards. I buy them early. My goal was to get my Thanksgiving cards out. One confession is I didn't get to send out any of my Thanksgiving cards because I was so busy with life and doing what comes along with the life that I live and the people's lives with whom I am connected. That's not the major confession, that I didn't send out my Thanksgiving cards. Every year I strive to get my Christmas cards in the mail so that they can be postmarked by December 1st. That's just me. Tell me if you all like that too. Every year, because I still love sending out Christmas cards. I love sending out holiday cards. I love sending out cards. So every year, you all, I strive to get my cards done and dropped in the mail and in the post so they can be postmarked by December 1st. I've got to get that done. I mean, I'll stay up late nights and up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure I get everything done, because I still have the need to be perfect in some regards. That's the confession. That with respect to some things, I still have a perfectionist mentality. And that's not good. That's not always good. And so I need to make this confession that I have a perfectionist mentality when it comes to some things. And I was thinking about that, and I said, oh my goodness, every year Cutler, you strive to get your cards in the mail so that it can be postmarked by December 1st, and you will stay up late into 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning getting them done, because I love sending out cards and I love receiving cards. I love getting cards throughout the year, but especially over the holidays. I really, really do. So I carry that perfectionist mentality when it comes to the cards. And then I thought, in what other areas might I carry this perfectionist mentality? And I thought, oh my goodness, this is the year when there's so many things on display. I love decorating. And I was thinking, why do I put so much energy into decorating? Well, because I like decorating. I put energy into making sure that uh, my trees are the best that I can make them. I make sure that my packages are wrapped as neat as I can make them. I enjoy this season. And I thought, for whom are you doing that? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for somebody else? Then I concluded, I'm doing it for myself. I really am. I'm doing it for myself, but so I love wrapping the packages. I love the trees. I love the decorations, but that trying to get the cards in the mail by December 31st, by December 1st, that said to me, oh my goodness, you still have a perfectionist mentality. Everything has to have its place. Everything has to be queued up. Everything has to be lined up. And I thought, so that's lighthearted with the cards, but how many of us have a perfectionist mentality? We feel like we have to do everything right. When we don't do everything right, we feel like the world is going to crumble. We feel like if the world crumbles, that's the end of everything. So I wanted to set some of us free this evening by coming here saying, just stop trying to be a perfectionist. Stop trying to be perfect and start trying to be complete. And that's what I had to say to myself. Cutler, stop trying to be perfect. If your cards don't get in the mail, if they don't get postmarked by December the 1st, the world is not going to stop. I sort of chuckle about the decorations and the trees and the packages and all that because that's just stuff that I like to do. I like neat packages. I like all of that. But I was, as the young folks say, freaking out or tripping out about not thinking I was going to miss my deadline to get the cards in the mail. And I thought, you know what, just stop it. It's okay. Life is going to go on. Stop striving. Stop carrying that perfectionist mentality. And so while for me it's just about the Christmas cards, I wanted to share that with you all. Stop trying to be perfect and just try to be complete. People strive for perfection just for so many different reasons, y'all, whether they are internal or external reasons. A lot of times it's somehow rooted in our past experiences. And so I thought about that thing. What kind of past experiences might we have to make us focused on just hanging on to become a perfectionist? How do we do that? Paula D says, I'm decorating my tree as we speak, making sure each ornament is in its perfect place. And that's funny. That's okay. And we really do that. And it is this time of year, Paula, where we have to ask ourselves, am I striving to be a perfectionist, or do I just like things in its proper place? And I had to examine myself and ask me, Cutler, what is going on? But I realized on a deeper level, there are so many of us who have that perfectionist mentality. And we get in a chokehold when things are not perfect. But we need to release that attitude of that mentality of perfectionism. And we need to ask ourselves, where does that come from? I know a lot of times it is based on just this whole fear of failure. It's the whole fear of negative judgment. If I don't get it right, they're going to talk about me. It comes from that deep-seated fear that if I make a mistake or if I'm less than perfect, it's going to result in some kind of harsh criticism. Somebody's going to talk about me. Somebody's going to say something about me. It's going to result not only in harsh criticism, it's going to result in shame. It's going to result in disapproval by other people. But can I tell you to let it go, release it, and just move on? It is that fear of failure, that fear of negative judgment, striving to be perfect. It becomes a defense mechanism to avoid this pain that is associated with negative evaluation. I feel like I'm going to be negatively evaluated. So what I need to do, I need to make sure that I avoid that pain by any means necessary. So I strive to become perfect. So that becomes my defense mechanism or my defense shield to make sure that I don't receive negative evaluation. No, release it and let it go. Because who have we given that much power over our lives? Who have we given that much authority over our lives to judge us and evaluate us negatively? It is the fear of failure and the fear of negative judgment. Well, who cares? Who are we giving that amount of power, control, and authority to? A lot of times we have this perfectionist mentality because we associate our achievements with our self-worth, or our self-worth with my achievement. So my self-worth is based on what I've achieved, it's based on what I've accomplished, it's based on the platforms that I can now stand. A whole lot of perfectionists, they link their value as a human being to their performance and to their successes and to their accomplishments. But can I tell you, I have value if I don't accomplish a thing in the eyes of man? Because it is in this mindset. Anything short of perfect, anything short of perfection suggests that there's some kind of inadequacy. Can I tell you to release it and let it go? Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to be perfect with respect to the fear of negative judgment, the fear of failure. Stop trying to be perfect. You're not going to please everybody. You're not even going to please yourself all the time. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop associating your value with your accomplishment and your successes with what you do. A lot of times we have this whole notion of trying to be perfect because it's deep rooted either in some cultural expectations, or as a child there were parental or older family expectations and you took those upon yourself, or they were hurled onto you. Because some people who grew up with these highly critical family members, or demanding family members, or in cultures that just prioritized achievement. You've got to be able to do this, and you must be able to do this. And they compared you with your older siblings. They compared you with your older relatives. So if you lived in that environment where people were unrealistic and they put these expectations on you, that you have to do this, or you have to do this to earn their respect, to earn their love, to earn their acceptance. These kind of societal pressures is what I call them. They contributed to a lot of people setting unrealistic expectations for themselves and unrealistic standards, things that you know you couldn't meet. I'm just trying to bring these things to the table, bring them to the surface to help us to understand why we strive to be perfect. Either fear of failure, fear of negative judgment, trying to tie in our value with our achievements, or having lived through an experience of unrealistic expectations, either from family members or relatives, or your culture itself. Sometimes we set unrealistic expectations. Sometimes we strive to be perfect because we have this need for control. I have to be in control all the time. I got to know what's going on. I've got to be in the driver's seat. Because there are turbulent times that come in life. And I need to be able to create or establish or maintain order. So when there's turbulence and when there's chaos, I've got to be in control. I've got to be in control. And we need to think about that. We need to think about, why do I find myself striving for perfection all the time? Why do I just have to have things perfect? Sometimes, honestly, we may not like this, you all, but I have to offer this to us. Sometimes the need to be perfect comes from this space and this place of low self-esteem, feeling like I'm inadequate. Because quite the opposite, and contrary to this confident image, a lot of people who strive to be a perfectionist, quite the opposite from carrying this confident image, they struggle and they battle with feeling inadequate, feeling like they're not enough, having low or poor self-esteem. So then pursuing perfection is a mask for all of those insecurities. And we need to think about that, y'all. I know it's a heavy topic. It is a heavy subject, but what I realized as I'm getting ready for the holidays, and I like to have everything, Paula, like you like to have everything in its perfect and its proper place, I thought on a deeper surface, on a deeper level, not just me putting up decorations and ornaments and packages and all that kind of stuff, but I thought on a deeper level, there's so many people who strive for perfection for so many different reasons. And striving to be perfect, it can have negative consequences on you, on your mental health and your emotional health, on your physical health, all of that. It can have a negative impact on the quality of life. So I'm sharing with to stop trying to be perfect, because it's dangerous and it's tiring and it's exhausting to always be on and to always try to be perfect in everything that you do. It's dangerous to always try to be perfect. Why? You would land yourself into some anxiety and into depression trying to be perfect, trying to please everybody. You really will. So that's one of the dangers of trying to be perfect and having this perfectionist mentality. You're going to end up somewhere with anxiety and depression. Let it go. Another danger is you're so busy trying to be perfect until you end up procrastinating. The fear of not being able to do something perfectly, it prevents you from doing it, period. Know anybody like that? They're so busy trying to be perfect until when they can't get it done perfectly, they won't do it, period. So you end up procrastinating and you become a chronic procrastinator. And then you miss details and you miss things. Another danger, it lowers your self-esteem. It lowers your self-worth. Because what you do, you're masking your inadequacies. And you're tying your value to your self-worth. And then when you don't accomplish it and you don't reach it to the point that you aspire to, that you hope, or that you set for yourself, then you shoot yourself in the foot and you say, woe is me. So any outcome that is short of perfect is viewed as a failure. It's viewed as less than. It's viewed as not enough. I'm really just trying to help save somebody's life, because we set up these parameters, you all, and we can't always meet them. And sometimes we set them up not only for ourselves, but for other people. And then they don't meet them. We want to hold them accountable for not meeting an unrealistic expectation that we thrust and that we cast upon them. The same way people have cast and thrust unrealistic expectations on us. And we try to prove them wrong. We try to prove them wrong. And what happens? One of the dangers is you suffer burnout. You suffer physical health issues. You suffer physical fatigue. I'm telling you, the relentless drive to always be perfect and to always get it right, it can lead to physical ailments. It can lead to emotional exhaustion. It's called burnout. Have you ever been tired and you just wondered why? And you were just exhausted and you were just tired. Ask yourself, where did that come from? Did it come from me having placed unrealistic expectations on myself? This notion of being perfect, it can sometimes get in the way with your creativity. It can sometimes hinder your growth, your ability to show up and be who you are. The fear, just this whole fear of failure is what perfectionism is based in. It leads to avoiding taking risks sometimes. It leads to avoiding trying new things. And that can stifle your growth. That can stifle your innovation. That can stifle your imagination. That can stifle your creativity. I don't want to make a mistake. Can I tell you this? Mistakes are crucial learning moments. They are crucial learning opportunities. And what happens? Those crucial learning opportunities are missed out by perfectionists. because they take mistakes as grave failures. Woe is me. And then you all may not want to hear this, but I need to share this, you all. Another danger of this perfectionist mentality, it causes a strain on relationships. And I'm not talking about beyond platonic, but I'm talking about friendships, or just relationships between siblings and parents and friends and relatives and colleagues and coworkers. I'm just talking about this whole notion of always striving to be perfect. It can have a strain on your relationships of any kind. Why would you say that, Cutler? Because unrealistic expectations are often projected onto other people. Sometimes we do that, and we do it unfairly, because it can make it difficult for you to then delegate a responsibility or a task to somebody. Why? Because you don't trust them. You don't trust that they would do it to the level, to the standard that you want it done. And so you've cast and you've thrust this unrealistic expectation. And so then you say, nope, I'm just going to do it myself. I'm not going to get them to do it because I don't trust that they'll do it to the level that I want them to do it. That's a lack of trust. That's a strain on any kind of relationship. Because a person who has this perfectionist mentality always end up with what I read somewhere, and it was called chronic dissatisfaction. Doesn't that sound, that just sounds horrible? Chronic dissatisfaction. Even when you have some significant goals that are achieved, a perfectionist may not experience the joy and the peace and the satisfaction, because they are immediately focused on the one small detail that they believe they could have done better. Did everything right, but there was one small detail that I could have done better. That's called chronic dissatisfaction. I had to learn to let some of this stuff go myself, you all. I had to learn to say to myself that in some circles, in some settings, in some situations, okay is okay. Enough is enough. Good enough is good enough. Very good is very good. Satisfactory is satisfactory. I didn't let go of the fact that excellent is excellent. But in some settings, in some situations, I learned to stop beating myself up. I learned to walk my way out of chronic dissatisfaction. And I learned not to let anybody else push me into that abyss of chronic dissatisfaction, making me think every I had to be dotted, every T had to be crossed, everything had to be in its place all the time. That can be exhausting, because it gives you that extreme all or nothing thinking. It just leads to either it's going to be black or it's going to be white. There are no grays, there's no vagueness, there's no ambiguity, there are no blurred lines. Anything less than 100% is considered a failure. No. I had to remove myself from that kind of thinking, leaving myself no room for growth, for progress, for maturity. I'm just trying to help us, you all. I really, really am. I'm trying to help us, because particularly during this time of year, we're looking for perfection in how we show up, perfection in how we decorate, perfection. And yes, this is a lighthearted way of bringing it up, but I wanted to bring it up and say, just stop trying to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect for anybody. And we let people put those expectations upon us. But I come with an offering, and I offer you the power to reflect it and to deflect it. When people cast those unrealistic expectations, I come with an offering you the power to allow it to roll off your back like water on a duck's back. I come offering us the space to say, no, that's not going to be me. And I just need to let us know that within yourself, you have the authority not to be bound by anybody else's unrealistic expectations of you. You have the authority to set yourself free from the negative and unrealistic expectations of people. That is a part of my journey. I had to learn how to set myself free from the unrealistic expectations, because a lot of times when you start doing things and you do things well, then other people start thrusting things on you. They start thrusting expectations. Oh, well, in this case, you can do that. You can do the other thing. You can do all of this. You can do that. And not only do they say you can do it, they expect you to do it. And it's not always for your benefit. Many times it's for their benefits. And you have to say, no, 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 no. I give myself permission. I give myself the authority not to be bound by other people's unrealistic expectations. I got to get up out of here. But I hope this is helping somebody. Holidays are coming up. Some of y'all are stressed out about what other people expect you to do, what other people expect you to give, how other people expect you to show up, what they expect you to buy for them, make for them, do for them. And they've put these unrealistic expectations on you, but I offer you the authority to set yourself free from unrealistic expectations of other people, particularly if you don't have the resources to do it, or if you don't have the wherewithal, if you don't have the intestinal fortitude to bring yourself to do what they're expecting you to do. I give you the authority to set yourself free from that. I got to go, you all. But this comes from my experience. It comes from my heart. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to be perfect and just set yourself free from all of that. Let's keep doing what we do. I got to get out of here. I've said that 3 times. I sound like a Baptist preacher giving a benediction, don't I? Let's keep doing what we do. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Let's keep our heads up and our hopes up. Make sure that you stay safe and stay sane, and know that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. And until the next time we talk, we're in the middle of the holiday season. Tell somebody, let's come on and let's talk to Cutler, the man that's just trying to help save our lives. So until the next time I see you, good night, everybody.